You're listening to the PRO Media Network, the next level in entertainment.
Get ready. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and of course, enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Once again, I'm Big Q. I'm your host on the Sports Coma episode 341. That's right, 341 on the Coma. And for those who don't know or are new to the podcast, we are a podcast dedicated, strictly dedicated to the black and gold, the Who Dat Nation, the true diehard New Orleans Saints family. That's what the Sports Coma represent. But in this podcast, we'll be covering the latest round the Saints news and notes family. And of course, this Jared Cook thing, man. Isn't this absolutely insane? Isn't this absolutely insane, this whole Jared Cook thing, man? We're going to cover it today on the show. Give you the latest on that. Of course, Robert Quinns, the Miami Dolphin and former defensive end from the St. Louis and Los Angeles Rams, pays the Saints a visit today, Monday, that is. And of course, we'll talk about that. We'll cover that. Marcus Sherels, new defensive back / kick returner, punt returner, is replacing Tommy Lee Jerry Lewis, who took his act on the road to Detroit. We'll cover that, give you some information on that. Also, other topics dealing with the NFL replay rules, specifically dealing with what happened with the Saints in that ridiculous NFC Championship game. Y'all know my thoughts. If you didn't hear it, go back and look up the show, listen to it. I was very animated. Matter of fact, I think the guys marked it as explicit because I don't usually curse, but I was kind of upset among the entire Saints fandom. If you wasn't there, you wasn't a true Saints fan, you know. But go back and listen to it if you haven't heard. And also the Sports Coma question of the day. We'll hit you with that one as well later in the show. So without further ado, welcome all new and established family to the Sports Coma. And let's get into our top story, which is this whole Jared Cook thing. Now, I have been reluctant to do a podcast. Of course, I covered them priorly on the previous podcast about this whole Jared Cook thing. Broke down his numbers, his size, and the fact that how he would fit seamlessly in a Saints offense. What's really crazy is the fact that this whole entire scenario, how it's been playing out. Jared Cook has visited the Saints going on, 2 weeks now? And I mean, I haven't, and it's been like locked down, quiet in the building. You haven't heard him tweeting anything. Then he had these little substantive secret tweets. People asked him the other day, is a deal coming forth between you and the Saints? And he sent out a message on social media thanking the the Oakland Raiders for their service, but that don't necessarily mean that they're going to go to the Saints. Of course, Gronkowski retired, which opens up a major spot, being he's the top tight end left in the free agent market. And of course, the Patriots say he would fit well in our system as well. But I mean, it's absolutely crazy, man. What's absolutely, I've never covered or seen anything quite as ridiculous as this whole deal here. I mean, in between the minutia of everything going on, you have the fact that the Saints did restructure Cameron Meredith's contract. We covered that. We also know that they, did their reworking on Drew Brees' deal. We covered that. And they freed up some money to go after a Jared Cook, who a lot of people believe is the biggest need of the Saints going into this offseason. Well, there's a new report on Jared Cook saying, once again, and this was reported by ESPN, this was reported by our local papers, NOLA.com and The Advocate. It's the same crap. and they're just basically parroting and regurgitating the same stories over and over again, saying that Jared Cook is going to sign real soon. Well, thanks for the news update. He's been signing real soon for the last almost 2 damn weeks. I've never known such a scenario to play out the way it's been playing out between the two. But Jared Cook said he would not consider the Patriots, which was good news. And he's obviously sticking to whatever the hell the Saints got on. There was another report that was released saying that Jared Cook and the Saints are working on a deal between $8 million a year. Now, that's not, I guess that's okay. It's not in the double digits, but $8 million a year. What is that? You know, how many years? That's not been determined. That has not been released, but they are speculating around $8 million a season, making, I would say, maybe 3 years, 2 or 3 year deal at $8 million, the length of whatever Drew is going to be here. Of course, you got to look at the fact that he is in his 30s as well. But outside of that, he hadn't signed with the Saints yet. He did, like I said, put out a shimmer of shining hope on social media about thanking the people. Of course, he made, I showed you that tweet that he did with a reporter, dictator, you know, no spin on the word. I mean, that's the man's name, Richard Tater, saying that he intends to sign with the Saints because he see them as the perfect fit with him and Drew Brees. Well, that has been some times, and like I said, that is the only news I got to tell you about this thing, and I'm really kind of tired of it because this is ridiculous. Let's just get the goddamn deal done and get it out of the way and move on to the next thing. Now, outside of that, moving past the Jared Cook story, and I will report it to you as soon as I get more information, but that's all I've got is he's signing soon. He's signing. So it's like Santa Claus coming. Oh, he's coming. He's coming. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous, man. Just sign the damn man. We freed up enough money. If he wants $8 million, they're probably haggling over the years and all the particulars. But the whole deal with Mickey Mouse Loom is that he'll give him say, okay, we'll give you 3 years at whatever it is with phantom years in the mixture. You know how that guy does. Of course, one of his agreements got thrown out by the NFL, but of course they made a little tweak on it and it's supposed to be approved. Speaking of Easton, the center. Let's go into our next story. Robert Quinn is visiting the Saints on Monday. Of course, there was a report saying he was supposed to visit last week. That didn't happen. He was held up by a prior team, the Dallas Cowboys, and other things were happening in between. But he's visited the Saints today. Supposed to be today, fam. So we'll know something, or maybe we won't know nothing the way the Saints operate in terms of these last few moves. Either you want them or you're not. Ziggy Ansah, I know, is off the table. I know that for a fact. Ziggy Ansah is off the table. That's why they are looking at Robert Quinn, adding him as an addition to the team. Now, of course, they did say the Dolphins the defensive end is visiting the Saints today, and that was reported by the Fort Worth Star, Clarence Hill, who's a pretty decent reporter. He's also on the trade block. He visited with the Cowboys. The Cowboys didn't seem that interesting. I think if he really wanted him, he would have signed him, although the Cowboys have a defensive end and DeMarcus Lawrence. Sign that man and stop playing games, Jerry Jones. For real. The man earned the money. Pay the man. Now, Miami is willing to consider parting ways with Quinn's salary to facilitate a deal, which is what they did with Tannehill. Remember, they shipped Tannehill out to the Titans. Now, the Dolphins could be willing to take a 2020 draft pick instead of a 2019 choice. Indications are that they're looking at a 2020 third or fourth round selection for a guy like Robert Quinn. Now, he's due almost $12 million in the final year of his contract, and he's basically a 1 year rental. Now, from reports that I'm getting based upon the whole situation is the Dolphins owner is willing to work on chopping some of that salary down or paying some of that salary to make it equitable so they can be able to bring this guy in. The issue is how much money are we talking here? Because obviously he got 1 year remaining on his contract, and the Saints obviously looking to make that one push, that Super Bowl run. Now, he's 28. He had 6.5 sacks in 16 games last year. His first in Miami, and he has 69 in his 8-year career. He has not had a double-digit sacks season since 2014 when he made his second Pro Bowl, and he had 19 and a half in 2013 when he earned his All-Pro honor. Now, this guy gets to the quarterback. He's not over the hill. He's just 28 years old, a little bit expensive at that norm, but that guy can get to the damn quarterback. He made his bones against the Saints every time they played with him. When he played with the Rams, he was spectacular. They could not block him. And like I said, that was some time ago. He had some injuries that slowed him down. The man only 28. The owner say, listen, we'll take some money off. Let's see what's going on right there as the Saints continue to add a pass rusher, another pass rusher into that defensive line to improve its chances. Moving ahead to the next group of topics. Now, of course, there was an article written about the Saints obviously bleeding the Minnesota Vikings team of talent. The latest guy is Marcus Sherels. Now, Marcus Sherels, if for people who might not be familiar with this guy, he's 31 years old. He's been in the league for some time. I didn't realize how long Marcus Sherels been in the league. He is a undrafted guy the Vikings picked up. He has 8 years worth of experience, all of them with the Vikings. He started with them back in 2010, and he's basically a defensive back special. He works on he does do certain things, but 2013 was probably his best year in terms of playing the position when he played 16 games and started 3 of them. That year he had 47 tackles, 36 of which were solo, 7 assisted tackles. He had 1 pick. The guy only has 1 pick on his resume. He doesn't play, he doesn't come out and basically help you in the secondary like you would expect him to do, because he's basically a special team specialist. That's all he does. He's a kick return, punt return game, and he's one of the best in the league. Now, primarily as a punt returner for the past 8 years, he averaged about almost 11 yards per return, a total of about 5 touchdowns. He averaged about 12 yards per punt return last season to finish in NFL's top 5 for the 3rd time in 6 years. Now, he also can be used as a kick returner on occasion. He was a backup cornerback who started 6 games on the defense early in his career, originally undrafted out of Minnesota. A guy, true Minnesota all the way. Sherels was also tied as the longest tenured player on the team. Now, this goes along with the fact that the Saints really don't want to use Alvin Kamara no more now that he is the lead back in the kick return house. Now, Ted Ginn Jr. also has a ability to play that punt return, kick return game. But do you really want Ted Ginn back there? And he's your top wide receiver outside of Michael Thomas. So it's, this guy can do a little bit of both, and it's a severe upgrade over what we had last year. Now, of course, like he said, he's finishing the top 5 the last 6 or so years, and the guy's coming with touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. How many damn touchdowns did Tommy Lee Lewis have as a kick return and punt returner back there? Now, it's not all Tommy Lee's fault, because the Saints kickoff and punt teams at times stink in advancing the ball, but with this new special teams guy coming on board, this could really help the team out. Now, also, we'll talk about, I want to know the Sports Coma question of the day to your family is, what's the biggest hole remaining for the Saints? Let us know in the comment section. What's the biggest hole facing the Saints remaining after all this done went down? And of course, the final little tidbit is about the NFL replays. Rules are on the table at the owner meetings, and we're going to be covering this thing because this damn show impacts us in a major capacity. What happened? Well, that'll do it for the show. Thank y'all for joining us on the Sports Coma. As always, hit that subscribe and hit that notification button for future shows. Go to the description section for all the links to our sponsors to support the show. Thank you for listening. Peace.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. What's up, sports world? It's Big Q talking at you from the PRO Media Network, letting you know that we're attempting to make things a lot simpler on our listeners and viewers of our mini podcast. So as a result, we're leasing down a lot of our shows to have their own channels for your convenience. Starting soon, shows like Ring King Box, LSU's Tough Tiger Talk, the Pelican Postgame Report will all have their own individual YouTube channels. So thank you for working with us during this process. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your donations and support for our platform as we continue to improve moving forward. Peace.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that?
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registrars and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.